Okay folks, today on Green Iron TV we're going to do a walk around on our 1953 M38A1 Jeep. So that's what's going to go on in this episode. So sit back, and if you want to learn more about the M38A1 Jeeps, stay tuned. And like always, please give us a comment, leave a like, and hit that subscribe button. We appreciate every little bit. Thanks. Okay, what we have here is our M38A1 Jeep. This is easily identifiable as an A1 because it has the rounded fenders and the more rounded hood. So this body style was later adapted into the civilian CJ5, but was originally designed for the military, and it was designed to replace the M38 because the M38 had the flathead Go Devil motor, the same as the World War II Jeeps, and in needing a little more power, Jeep developed what was known as the F-head, and it was a little bit taller of a motor, which required a little bit taller hood and body, and that's how they developed into the Willys, and this is known as the MD version. So MB was the World War II Jeeps, MC was the first M38s, and then the M38A1s were known as the MD. So we know this Jeep is a late 1953 model because it does not have the hinged front hood or front grille pieces, and it has the late production front fenders. So in early production, this panel here didn't come down. It actually had this diagonal line continue across. So this signifies a late production. Also letting us know this is a late production is the hood number, and this is a correct hood number. Even though the official Army number didn't change until 1954, obviously this Jeep, as a late production 53, got badged in with the 54s. So probably somewhere as it was getting near the end of the line, it was held and held for the batch with the 54s. So that's how it ends up with a 54 style hood number. So of course, M38A1s are a 1/4 ton Jeep personnel carrier, 4-wheel drive, and of course these are designed to carry 4. So you have the 2 front seats and a rear seat. Very simple cockpit, just like most all military vehicles. Simple dash. The military M series light switch for running headlights, blackout lights, stops, signal switches. This has the T90 3-speed transmission and a 2-speed Dana 18 transfer case. Glove box on the driver's side, which is an indicator that it's the military version. Large fill neck. And of course, these series of Jeeps had the 1-piece Jeep wheel. They did not have the 2-piece combat wheels that were common on the World War II Jeeps. These are the standard Jeep 1-piece stamped wheels. This Jeep, of course, has what's known as the summer top on it right now. And there is provisions for a winter enclosure through these turnbuckles that run all along, allow you to put side curtains and a door. And then there is provisions for a hinge and this slot that runs down. So the canvas for the door would tuck into that and hold into that. Like its predecessor Jeeps, fuel tank under the driver's seat. You have the pioneering axe. This one is actually mounted on the driver's side. Technically, originally they were mounted on the passenger side, but this vehicle has the big radio set in it on the passenger side, so we did move this axe to this side. Now, in a lot of the manuals, it calls for the radios to actually be mounted on the driver's side, but in this configuration, and since this vehicle is driven quite often by just one person, we actually put that big heavy radio on the opposite side to counterweight the driver, so that we didn't have all that weight on one side of the vehicle. We originally mounted that radio on this side, and quickly found out that in parades it looks kind of funny because the Jeep was in a pretty serious lean with all the weight on one side, so we swapped it around to help balance it out. You have stowage for the top bows, so the top bows come in, they lock in here. When the top is off and the bows are stowed, you have straps, and then this pivot point is moved to here and attached in through that pivot point to keep it secured. And of course, you know, we do have a radio mounted in this Jeep, so we do have radio antennas mounted. Standard military jerry can and jerry can holder, bumperettes, tow pintle, military taillights, and of course, being an early vehicle like this, you only have driver's side taillight brake lights, and so originally these only had brake light on the driver's side, and then you had your blackout light on the passenger side. Full-size spare tire, and of course we have another radio mount on this side, a radio antenna mount. Full data plate. So on the M38A1's data plates are mounted here on the passenger side by the grab handle. Latches for the fold down windshield. You can see those shift levers a little better from this side. Passenger seat that's hinged and folds. Lift forward to make access for the rear. Plus, you have an under seat storage toolbox. We of course have the radio, so we have the radio power lead mount that runs here along the passenger side, attaches in for the radio. We have our original Willys MD body tag. Also here on the passenger side, so you have your 24 volt slave receptacle, and this is for running your slave jumper cables, so you can actually jump start the vehicle if the batteries are dead off another military vehicle by using the military slave port. And of course, I keep a set of slave cables, and I have the slave port on all my vehicles. Makes it nice and easy. If I ever have a dead battery or something happens, you know, switch gets left on at a parade or show, Makes it nice and easy to be able to jump start and get the vehicles moving. You have the battery box and the battery box lid, and this is also another indicator of a late model. So this has the latched style, and on the early ones you had a banding with thumb screws that held that plate on. So nice and easy to have the latch. It's just a simple latch. Allows easy access to get down into the batteries. All M38A1s had a split windshield. The civilian Jeeps all came with a single pane windshield. So if you see an M38A1 with a single, that has been replaced somewhere along its life by somebody with a civilian style. Also, the civilian Jeep does not have the cutout here for the slave receptacles. Another big identifier. And also, there is no Jeep stampings in the lower body there that there is in the civilian one. Of course, you have vacuum operated wipers, just like most all standard military vehicles of the time period. Makes it nice and great. That way you hardly ever have good windshield wipers as you're going along. Another good identifier from a civilian is the grille, even though it looks extremely similar. So on the M38A1s, the headlights are recessed and tucked into the grille, where on the civilians, they're more flush mount and stick out. Plus, instead of turn signals, you have cutouts and blackout driving light markers down in there that bolt in. Of course, you have tie-down shackles on the front and on the rear. And also another indicator on this being a late model is it has the full width front bumper on it, where on the early models it was a little bit narrower of a bumper. Standard Jeep hood latches. And under the hood we have the standard Jeep F head. This is a 4-cylinder motor, has 24 volt sealed electrical, sealed waterproof spark plugs. Two-stage fuel pump that runs fuel pump on the bottom and vacuum pump on the top. Oil bath air cleaner. And the Fram canister style oil filter housing. And of course, your 24 volt generator, rectifier, starter, and a sealed distributor. Of course, under the hood is your pioneering shovel. And one of the things we probably should have talked about with the hood is we do have this cutout that can be taken out, and that is so that you can add the fording kit. So the fording kit would come out of the air cleaner. You would take this cover off, it would come out, it mounts there on the fender, runs along the fender and up the side of the windshield, it mounts, and then that little mushroom cap from the air cleaner would then go on top here and seal the system from rain, but allow air intake way up at the top. single mirror. So just a mirror only on the driver's side. And to start, we'll start this Jeep up. So to start, you have ignition switch, and we'll give her just a little choke, a little throttle, and then the start button way up here under by your foot. So like older vehicles like this, it is a full leaf spring vehicle. Leaf springs at all four corners. Gives a little bit rough of a ride, just like Jeeps of the period always do. This is why this vehicle's replacement vehicle, the M151, was developed with independent rear, front and rear suspension. It was designed to give a little bit better ride than the M38s and 38A1s and the old Willys MBs, the old Ford GPWs. But inherently what they found was with those M151s is that the independent suspension would allow, under extreme cornering, would allow that rear end to buckle under and would cause the vehicles to flip. So that's probably one of the reasons why the production of these stayed so long, because production started in 1952 after the M38 had only been in production for 2 years, in 51 and 52. So this started in 52 and was produced for the U.S. Army through 1957. But Jeep continued to build these all the way through late 1967. So in the early 60s, they did have a couple U.S. Marine contracts in which the Marines used the M38A1s for a lot longer than the U.S. Army did. And of course, the Marines had a couple specific pieces that were added to them. The front and rear toe shackles were reinforced. There was a rear shackle assembly that brought the rear shackles from behind the bumperettes out to the corners of the body, off the corner of the rear cross members, so that these could be sling lifted off the cargo ships, which was a requirement for the Marines. And then also the Jeep produced these through 1967 for sale and export to Allied countries. So these Jeeps went all over the world. They were used by tons and tons of foreign militaries, Israel, South America, all around Europe. So makes for quite a lot of these vehicles out there. Jeep produced about 100,000 of these for U.S. forces throughout its years, and about 30,000 for export. So these vehicles are pretty readily available. Parts are pretty readily available. Quite a few of the suppliers out there have the parts for them. Makes it nice if you're doing a restoration. It does make it easy to track down correct original style parts. There's reproduction bodies, reproduction for a lot of the componentry, because it was so popular and these vehicles were used so worldwide. Parts can be found pretty easily here in the United States and in Europe. I know there's a big part supply in Greece where these vehicles were continued on and used well into the 80s for the Greek army. The other nice things about an M38A1, it is a little bit smaller of a vehicle. Fits in a garage easy, fits on a smaller style trailer. Makes it nice to be able to store. It's not like trying to fit a deuce and a half in the garage. So, if you're living in a suburban area, you only have your standard 2-car garage or whatever, this does make it nice that it is a small vehicle and will fit in a garage real easy. They're easy to drive. They're fun to drive. You got a top speed of around 50 mile an hour, 45 comfortably, 50 if you're really wanting to hustle and push it. But you're not gonna be blazing down the highway at freeway speeds. But for back roads cruising, these are fun little vehicles. And of course, it's great in the summertime with the top off. And then of course, like for a lot of the parades, we run with the windshield down. Gives a lot of makes it just such a fun open vehicle. And ease of ownership is one of the great things about this style of vehicle. So if you have any questions about restoring an M38A1, owning an M38A1, please go ahead, leave me a comment down below, and I will try and answer any of your questions as best as I can. Well, folks, that basically is going to wrap up our walk around here on Green Iron TV on our M38A1. If you have any questions, let us know. Be sure to hit the like button, leave that comment, let us know. Hit the subscribe button. We appreciate every little bit of that. Be sure to go and check out the link for the merchandise down below. We got some cool shirts, hats, sweatshirts, stickers, all that in our merch store, including an M38A1 t-shirt and an M38A1 sticker set. So be sure to go check that out. And of course, this vehicle does have the paint mask marking kit from our good friends over at Delta Team Decals. So those guys make excellent marking kits, and they have this Jeep looking good. So if you have any questions or comments, let us know. We appreciate it. And you folks, have a great day.